The topic today feels really practical, and again, it's flowing right out of the counseling office from the past few weeks. It feels like we've had some similar conversations with couples in particular, with a desire just to connect better, to be more intentional. Of course, date nights are important, and to at least once a month have something in the calendar where you're figuring out your childcare and you're anticipating time that's just different than the rest of the week with each other. But then there comes the conversation of just what are the rituals throughout the week that allow you to connect on a random Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday evening. And one of the biggest distractions or barriers that continues to be a topic is the cell phone, and the reality that this window into the rest of the world that just sits in our pockets or is within arm's length is always there to take our attention away from the present, to be able to be present in the present with your spouse, family member, or just on your own in the evening to get unplugged. The Anxious Generation is a book that's been floating around that has just really great research, specifically towards Gen Z and its effect on that age group. They're the first generation to go through puberty with a screen in their hand. It talks about just when the iPhone came into existence, as well as social media and its effects on anxiety and depression levels and how they kind of go hand in hand. But there's a quote from that book that we've been talking about as a staff recently. And a woman named Sherry Turkle, who's an MIT professor, gave the quote that because of cell phones and their window into the rest of the world and their ability to distract, the quote is, "We are forever elsewhere." It's a hard-hitting quote because even though I'm in a room with my wife in the evening, if my phone is near me or if it vibrates or beeps, I'm always on the cusp of being somewhere else. I'm forever elsewhere because of its existence and its proximity to me. And so a practical takeaway we've talked about recently has been just like we have a ritual in putting our kids to bed each evening. It's 7:30, we're cleaning up from dinner. Either Brooke or I starts the going to bed process. Brush teeth, read a story, pray, kiss on the forehead, and put our kids to bed. And in different stages of our lives as young parents, it's become practical to also have a bedtime for our phones when it's becoming particularly distracting. So kids go to bed, and then give ourselves a half hour to answer any texts or to get on top of the next day with either an email or checking the calendar, and then actually go put our phone to bed as well, to at least get distance and put it out of the line of sight, in a drawer, in another room, in a charging station, so that we can be fully present with each other, even if it's to watch a show or even if it's to read a book or just discuss the day. Without putting our phone to bed, we are forever elsewhere. There's a really cool psalm. It's out of Psalm 119, verses 35 through 37, and it says, "Direct me in the path of your commands. Turn my heart toward your statutes, and not toward selfish gain. Turn my eyes away from worthless things." We need the Holy Spirit in us to be able to detect what's a worthless thing, what's just scrolling or a bit mind-numbing. There's something about the evenings where we just kind of want to veg out and come down from the day, but I'm also realizing that that's also where our minds are most vulnerable to really just check out with our phones instead of engage a little bit with the person that's in the room with you, or engage with the Father and the Holy Spirit and reflect on the day and list everything that God did do and everything that you're thankful for in the last 24 hours. Without putting a phone to bed, none of those things are possible. And so that's the practical lesson for the day that I think is for me from the counseling sessions we've been having, and reminder for me in my own marriage. And then I challenge you too towards what is the right practice or ritual to have in the evenings in particular, with the phone that can have the power to make you forever elsewhere. So combat that. Put your phone to bed. Give yourself the chance to send out your roots by the stream, to be present in the present, and give your mind a break so your attention can go to what's most valuable. Thanks. We'll see you again next time.